Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going on a truly fascinating journey of self-inquiry. We spend so much of our time just passively consuming information, scrolling through feeds, binging shows, reading the news. But for the next few minutes, we're going to totally shift gears. We're moving from passive consumption to active reflection. We're exploring the brilliant framework laid out in The Question Book, What Makes You Tick, by Mikhail Krogras and Roman Chapeler. And listen, this isn't some dry textbook. It's a completely interactive experience. So get comfortable, clear your mind, and prepare to look inward.
Why do people so rarely ask a really good question? It's a deceptively simple thought, right? But it sparked a massive experiment. The authors realized that we frequently keep the most important inquiries to ourselves. How often do you kick yourself later for not asking that one great question? So they went ahead and compiled 616 provocative, stimulating, and challenging questions. The whole goal here is to get us talking, to lighten up dull moments, to spice up our relationships, or simply to get to know ourselves and the people around us just a little bit better.
Now, before we start unpacking some of these incredible prompts, you have to play along in your head. And to do that, you need to follow 4 specific rules of the game. Rule number 1, do not overthink it. The very first answer that pops into your head, that's the one that counts. Number 2, there are no right answers, only honest ones. You've got to be brutally honest with yourself here. Number 3, allow yourself to change your mind. Nothing is set in stone, you can always revise it later. And number 4, honestly, this is the most important one. Prepare to truly listen. Keep these in mind as we move through the rest of this explainer.
Okay, Section 1, Reflecting on Your Past. We're going to look back over the last 12 months of your life.
I want you to pause and actually answer this in your head right now. Was this your best year so far? It's a massive, sweeping question, isn't it? It forces a macro perspective on your life. When we're caught up in the day-to-day grind, we rarely step back to evaluate the bigger picture like this. Whether your gut reaction was a resounding yes or kind of hesitant no, just acknowledging that immediate feeling provides a really crucial baseline for your current state of mind.
Now consider this pairing. Who was the absolutely most annoying person in your life over the past year? And, on the flip side, who is someone you apologize to? By putting our frustrations and our own humilities side by side, the source material forces us to recognize our actual role in the social ecosystem. We are just innocent victims dealing with annoying people. We are also flawed individuals who mess up and need to make amends.
Moving on to Section 2, Work, Values, and Relationships. Let's dive into your daily grind.
This is a classic dilemma straight from the book. Would you rather get a better salary or land a more interesting job? If you had to choose right this very second, remembering our first rule of the game, which of these 2 paths would you genuinely take? We so often try to convince ourselves that we can have both, or that we're purely driven by passion. But forcing a strict binary choice like this, it completely strips away our idealized self-image and reveals our actual practical priorities at this stage in our lives.
Are your parents proud of what you do for a living? In the book, you literally get little boxes for yes or no, followed immediately by a blank space asking why or why not. It sounds like a simple yes or no on the surface, but diving into the why behind it often unlocks some profound insights about whose expectations we're actually trying to fulfill. Are you living for your own satisfaction, or are you secretly chasing the validation of your family?
Notice the rapid-fire shift here. We just looked upward at your parents, and now the book completely flips the script and asks you to look downward at the next generation. Would you recommend your children pursue the same career path as you have? Contrasting your parents' pride with the hopes you hold for your own kids, it just totally changes your perspective on your own career, doesn't it? If you wouldn't wish your daily reality on your child, why on earth are you accepting it for yourself? It's a real wake-up call.
Now let's look laterally at our romantic partners. In your relationship, who is the breadwinner? And more importantly, what would change if your spouse were less successful than you? This question forces us to honestly evaluate how money and success subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, dictate the power dynamics within our romantic relationships. It's kind of an uncomfortable truth that financial equilibrium plays a massive role in how we relate to the people we love most.
All right, Section 3, Uncovering Your True Identity. It's time to discover who you really are at your core.
The book features this fascinating exercise called Pick Your 3. You're asked to list just 3 favorite books, 3 films you can watch again and again, 3 local restaurants, or 3 things to do before you die. By restricting you to exactly 3 choices, it cleverly strips away all the noise. You can't just list everything you mildly enjoy, you have to prioritize. And in that strict prioritization, it reveals what actually matters to your core identity and what you truly value above all else.
Then we enter the confessions phase. What is something you spend way too much money on? What's something that actually bores you to tears, even if you pretend it doesn't? What's the music you secretly blast in your car but would never, ever admit to your friends? Look, we all have guilty pleasures and secret blind spots. Admitting to the things that bore us or the things we waste money on isn't about feeling shame. It's a crucial, necessary step in honest self-reflection. It's about fully accepting the completely unfiltered version of who you are.
Now, I want you to ground yourself entirely in the present moment. Think about one specific thing that is bringing you joy right now, in this exact phase of your life, and one thing that is causing you sorrow or sadness. Not last year, not 5 years in the future, but right now. Identifying these twin pillars of your current emotional state anchors you into your present reality. It helps you recognize exactly what is fueling you and what is draining you today.
What is something you have recently learned? This is all about continuous growth. Honestly, self-inquiry is pretty much meaningless if we aren't constantly adapting and learning new things about the world around us. If you can't quickly name something you've learned recently, well, it might be a sign that you've been coasting a bit too much on autopilot. True engagement with life requires a posture of constant, eager learning.
And finally, Section 4, the art of listening. This is the ultimate goal of our entire journey.
So the crucial point of all this ties all the way back to Rule 4 from the very beginning of our explainer. The authors write, "We all admire people who have good answers, and we admire people who ask good questions even more. But most of all, we are touched by those who can really listen." All of this intense self-exploration, all of these lists and deeply personal confessions, they're ultimately in service of becoming someone who can ask these exact same questions of others. It prepares you to offer the people in your life the profound, incredibly rare gift of true listening.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative challenge. You've just spent this time dissecting your own past, your values, and your identity. Now, take that immense curiosity you've just applied to yourself and turn it completely outward. The next time someone speaks to you, a partner, a colleague, a parent, a child, will you truly hear their story? Try asking them a really good question, and then just listen.